Bismillahirrahmanirrahim and Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to our YouTube channel Paper Vault, where we are solving past papers of IGCSE Physics uh, 0625, and currently we are solving paper 2. We've covered 5 topics up till now, and this is part 2 of the topic density. We've done half of the questions in part A, and now we are going to do the other half of these questions. Before we start, kindly like and subscribe the channel so that you don't miss any videos. Secondly, if you find anything that I narrate here helpful, kindly remember me in your prayers. So let's start part 2 for the topic density. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Question number 21. A measuring cylinder containing only water is placed on an electric balance. A small, irregularly shaped stone is now completely immersed in water. The diagram shows the equipment before and after the stone is immersed. What is the density of the material of the stone? Okay, they've given us the initial volume. They've given us the final volume. So the volume of the stone can be found by subtracting the initial volume from the final volume. And the initial mass of the water and the cylinder is 105.0, and the final mass of water, cylinder and the stone is 217.5. So we already know that for density, we need two entities, which are mass and volume. Okay, so our volume would be, chalo, let's find the mass first. Mass would be the final mass minus the initial mass. So this is going to give us this. And for the volume, we have 65. This is 65 and this is 40. So volume is 65 centimeter cube minus 40 centimeters cube, and this gives us 25. So putting these values in our formula, we get 4.5 grams per centimeter cube. So the density of the material of the stone would be 4.5 gram per centimeter cubes. Okay, moving on to the next question. A steel ball bearing has a mass of 25 grams and a density of 8 grams per centimeter cubes. It is lowered into a measuring cylinder containing 12 centimeter cubes of water. What is the new water level of the cylinder? Okay, so this is very easy. First, we can find the final volume with the density and the mass. Okay, so density is 8 grams per centimeter cube, mass is 24 grams per centimeter cube, and volume is unknown for these entities. Okay, so when the volume goes here, 24 by 8, 3 is the volume of this ball bearing. So first of all, the cylinder contained 12 centimeter cubes of water. So if the volume of this steel ball bearing is 3 centimeter cubes, so when we will put this into 12 centimeter cubes of water, 3 centimeter cube rise can be seen as we've calculated over here. So the new volume would be 12 plus 3, that is going to give us 15 centimeter cubes. So C is going to be our answer. थोड़ा सा कान को दूसरी तरफ से पकड़ा हुआ है, but it's still a clear-cut question with an easy answer. Okay, question number 23. A student uses a measuring cylinder and a balance to find the density of the oil. The diagram shows the arrangement used. Okay, which calculation gives the density of the oil? Okay, density, as we know, is mass per volume. So what is going to be the mass of the oil? Mass of the oil would be this final mass minus the mass of the empty cylinder. That would give us M2 minus M1, and volume, पहले कुछ भी नहीं था cylinder पे, the cylinder was empty, so the volume would be the V that is there. So which one? Option D matches our answers. So this is going to be the answer. This is how you are going to find the density of the oil. Okay, question number 24. The diagram shows an empty container and the same container filled with liquid. The empty container has a mass of 120 grams. When filled with liquid, the total mass of the container is 600 grams. Okay, the volume of the liquid in the container is 600 centimeter cube. What is the density? Okay. Now, first of all, the container was empty, so the volume would be 600 grams as it was filled completely with liquid. ठीक है? The volume of the liquid would volume of the container will be the same as that of the liquid that has been put into it. ठीक है? तो volume तो हमारा clear cut would be 600 centimeters cubes. Weight and volume are the same. And secondly, we need to find the mass. ठीक है? तो mass after it was filled with liquid is 600 grams. The mass of the empty container is 120 grams. So the mass of the liquid would be 600 grams minus 120 grams. ठीक हो गया जी? So once we are done with this, for 80 grams would be the mass and volume would be 600 centimeters cube. So this is going to give us 0.8 grams per centimeter cube. So this is our correct answer. Moving forward, the diagram shows the dimensions of a rectangular block of metal of mass m. Which expression is used to calculate the density of the metal? Okay, density is, as we've been doing it again and again, mass over volume. So if the mass is given by m, so the volume is length into width into height. So that is P into Q into R. So we will have to find the density by this expression. So here it is, option D. So D is the correct answer. Okay. Now we are doing these questions at a faster pace because we've done all of this before as well in the questions which are included in part A of this video. So now we can do them quickly because we've done so many questions like these before. ठीक है? अच्छा, diagram 1 shows question number 26. Diagram 1 shows an empty measuring cylinder on a balance. Diagram 2 shows the same measuring cylinder on the balance, but now it contains liquid. What is the density of the liquid? Okay, density is mass over volume. In this question, we see that firstly, the cylinder was empty. So this is the mass of the empty cylinder. This is the mass of the cylinder when filled with liquid. So the mass, if you have to find the density of the liquid, you need the mass of the liquid. ठीक है? So the mass of the liquid would be 50 minus 30, that is 20 grams. And initially there was no liquid, so the liquid is 10 centimeters cubes over 10 centimeter cube over here. So the volume is 10 centimeters cube. So 20 over 10 would give you 2 grams per centimeter cubes as the density. So C is the correct answer. Okay, moving forward. Question number 27. The table gives the volumes and masses of 4 objects. which object has the greatest density? Okay, we have the mass, we have the volume. We will use our formula to calculate density, that is m over v. So for the first one, mass is 5.4 and the volume is 2. So this is going to give us 2.7. For the next one, the mass is 13, whereas the volume is 3. So putting them in the formula, we have 4.33. Then we have 15 as our mass and 6 as our volume. So this is going to give us 2.5 grams per centimeter cubes, of course. The last one, 18 is the mass and 5 is the volume. So this is going to give us 3.6. So the question asks us that which has the greatest density. So we can see that B has a density of 4.3 grams per centimeter cube. So this is the greatest density that we have. ठीक है जी? Done with question number 27. Okay, question number 28. 4 rectangular blocks PQRS are shown. Each block is labeled with its size and its mass. Okay. So the mass is given and the dimensions of the block is given. So with these dimensions, we can easily find the volume. So for P, the volume is 2 into 2 into 2, that is 8 centimeter cube. And the density would be mass over volume. So mass for P is 10 and volume for P is 8. So this is going to give us 1.25 grams per centimeter cube. Okay, for Q, volume would be 2 into 3 into 2. That is going to give us 12. So density is mass over volume. Mass is 10 grams per 12, which is the volume. So 10 over 12 is going to give you 0.83 grams per centimeter cubes. Okay, for R, our volume is 2 into 4 into 2, that gives us 16. And density is going to be mass per volume. So mass is 20 and this volume is 16. So this is going to give us 1.25. And for S, our volume is 2 into 2 into 2, 8 again. And density would be 20 by 8, that is mass per volume. So this is 2.5. Okay, which two blocks have the same density? So we already know that P and R have the same density as they both have a density of 1.25 grams per centimeter cube. Okay. Okay, question number 29. A liquid has a volume of 100 centimeter cube and a mass of 85 grams. The density of water is 1 grams per centimeter cube. How does the density of the liquid compare with the density of the water? Okay, to find the density of the liquid, we have its mass and its volume. So we are going to find that out. Sorry, 85 by 100, that is the volume. So 85 by 100 is going to give you 0.85 grams per centimeter cube. So this is lower than that of the density of water, as you can clearly see that the density of water was 1 gram per centimeter cube and this is lesser than the density of water. So B is our correct option. Okay, so moving on to question number 30. A student is given 4 different objects and a meter rule. Each object has a known mass. She is asked to determine the densities of the material from which the 4 objects are made. The objects are copper cylinder, glass cube, steel spanner and a stone tile. Okay, we already know that to find the density we need 2 entities, that is mass and volume. Mass she already knows and volume ke liye she only has a meter rule. So if we see, she can always find the dimensions of this cylinder with meter rule. This is a cube. She can find the dimensions of a cube with a meter rule. For the spanner, she won't be able to find the volume, which comes out from the dimensions. So this is not it. And the tiles dimensions can also be measured by a meter rule. So we need copper, glass, and stone as our options. So this is option B. ठीक है? जिससे वो तीनों इन तीन मटेरियल्स के she can find the density, but she can't find the density of the material that is. She won't be able to find the dimensions of this with a meter. So this is going to give us 1.41, which is closer to option D. So this is going to be our density. Okay, now moving on to question number 32. A measuring cylinder has a mass of 120 grams when empty. When it contains 50 centimeter cube of liquid, the total mass of the measuring cylinder and the liquid is 160 grams. What is the density of the liquid? So now here they've given us the volume of the liquid, which is 50 centimeter cube. But we need to find the mass of the liquid, which we can get by subtracting the final mass from the initial mass. This is going to give us 40 grams. So 40 over 50 would give you the density of this liquid. So option A is the correct option. Okay. Question number 32. A stone has a volume of 0.50 centimeter cube and a mass of 2 grams. What is the density of the stone? Okay. Density, clear-cut question. Mass over volume. So mass is 2 grams. Density is 0.50 centimeter cube. So dividing these two is going to give you 4 grams per centimeter cube. And D would be the correct option. Okay. Moving on to question number 34. A liquid has a density of 0.8 grams per centimeter cube. What could be the volume and mass of this liquid? Okay, different options are given over here. We are going to put them in the formula of density, that is mass over volume, and see which one of these produces a density of 0.80. So first one has a mass of 16 grams and a volume of 2, so that is going to give us 8, which is not the answer. The second question is mass is 10. Second option is mass is 10, whereas the volume is 8. So 10 divided by 8 is going to give you 1.25, which is also not the answer. So the third option, mass is 8 and the volume is 10. So this is going to give us an answer of 0.8 grams per centimeter cube. So C is going to be the correct option. Okay. Moving on to question number 35. A student is told to measure the density of a liquid and also a large cube of metal. Okay. Which piece of equipment are sufficient to be able to take the measurements needed? Okay. Option A is balance, measuring cylinder and ruler. Okay. Option B is balance and thermometer. No, thermometer is not required. Measuring cylinder and ruler. No, ruler is also not required. Measuring cylinder, ruler and thermometer. No, this is also not the correct answer. So she just needs a balance, a measuring cylinder and ruler. Okay? Without a balance, the mass would not be recorded. Without a measuring cylinder, the volume of the liquid would not be recorded. And without a ruler, the volume of the cube won't be able to be recorded. So A is going to be the correct answer. ठीक हो क्या जी? Moving on to question number 36. A cube of side 2 centimeter is placed on a balance. What is the density of the cube? Okay, now we've been given the weight and we've been given one dimension of the cube, as we know that the volume of the cube is given by L cube. So 2 cube, that gives us 8 centimeter cube as answer, would be the volume of the cube. We already know the mass. So density is mass per volume. So mass is 7.2. The volume is 8. So dividing these two would give us 0.9 as an answer. So option A is going to be the correct answer. Okay, moving on. Question number 37. A student is trying to find the density of water and a large regularly shaped concrete block. Which apparatus is needed to find the density of both water and concrete block? Okay, for density you need mass and volume. So mass, for measuring mass you will need a balance. For measuring the volume of the water, you will need a measuring cylinder. And for measuring the volume of a concrete block, either you are going to put it in the cylinder with water, or you may need a ruler for that. ठीक है? So option A has balance clock and measuring cylinder. We don't need a clock. Balance clock and ruler, no, we don't need a clock. So these two are eliminated. Balance measuring cylinder and ruler, yes. These three apparatus will give us the density of both the water and the regularly shaped concrete block. As this is regularly shaped, so you can find it with a ruler. If it was an irregularly shaped object, so you would put it in the measuring cylinder with the water and find the volume of this. Okay, so C is going to be the correct answer. Okay, question number 38. The diagram shows a rectangular block of density 2 grams per centimeter cube. What is the mass of the block? Okay, we have been provided with the density. We have to find the mass, and for volume, we know that the volume is length, width and height. So 2 into 2 into 3 is going to give us the volume, which is 12 centimeter cube. So density was 2 and mass, so 2 into 12 is going to give you the mass, which will be 24 grams, and so D is the correct option. Okay, question number 39. Which items of operators are required to determine the density of the liquid? We need mass. For mass, we need a balance, and we need a measuring cylinder for that volume. So A is going to be the correct answer. Thermometer is not required. A meter rule is not required. Again, meter rule and thermometer won't help us find the density. So option A is the correct answer. Okay. Question number 40. The diagram shows a rectangular box with inside measurements of 5 centimeter, 6 centimeter and 4 centimeter. Okay. The box has a mass of 40 grams when empty, and when filled with liquid, it has a total mass of 220 grams. So what is the density of the liquid? Okay. We have our mass. To find the mass of the liquid, we need to subtract the initial mass, that is the mass of the empty box, from the final mass. So that is going to give you 180 grams. ठीक है, volume के लिए we can always use the dimensions. We know that this is going to be filled with the liquid, so the volume would be the same as that of the volume of the box. ठीक है? So this is going to be, we don't need to calculate that, we just need a formula for that. So mass is 220 grams, by volume is 5 into 6 into 4, the dimensions of this box. So A, अच्छा 220 नहीं है, वो हमने तो subtract कर लिया था 180 grams. I didn't see the options before. The 220 minus 40 हमने किया है for getting the mass. So option B is going to be the correct answer. This gives you the mass and this gives you the volume. So dividing these two is going to give you the density. Okay, this brings us to the final question of the topic density. We've covered this topic. We've done all these questions. Now we are, inshallah, in the next video, we are going to be doing the question for forces. Okay, so see you in the next video, inshallah. And if you find any of this helpful, kindly remember me in your prayers. Inshallah, see you in the next video. Allah Hafiz.